Ready to harness the power of your communications data? Blast off with Nylas today.
Ram, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good, Blag. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks.
Awesome. Hopefully it's not too cold where you are right now.
No, not so much. I mean, with the heating and everything, it's quite okay.
Cool. So what are we going to talk about today?
So we're going to talk about how to build an old-fashioned agenda using Decker and Ruby.
Okay.
So first, to begin with, have you ever heard about HyperCard?
Actually, no, I haven't. So I'm excited to hear more what this is about.
So HyperCard, it was an application from the old Macintosh days,
Okay.
which allows you to create kind of like interactive applications. So it was widely used back in the day. I used to use it when I was like 8 or 9 years old.
Okay.
So let me share my screen so we can see it. Actually, I found a simulator of HyperCard. So very much when you open it, it was something like this. You can see the old Macintosh graphics, all black and white, they kind of like pixelated. And then you could choose, for example, this one looks interesting, this cookbook. So we open it, and we can see start. And you can see it's kind of like a slide. But also, you can click on the fish, and it's going to say it's just a fish. Or you can click here, and it's going to let you know, like, it's going to give you like messages. So it's kind of interactive. And then you can keep moving. This one is spicy. So it's pretty much like a cookbook, but then you can click on it and have some sort of interaction. So they use this to create application, to create games. It support for sound and everything. So and
this was on the original Macs, because this UI looks very, very familiar from like the very first Mac that I've had.
Exactly. And they use this, as I told you, to create applications, to create games. And this was before actually any web browser existed.
Gotcha.
And this one already have kind of like links. So you can press on a button, and then it's going to link you to another card.
Okay.
So what does Decker have to do with this? So Decker is kind of like a new version. So it's something that resembles HyperCard, but it can be used kind of like today. And this is kind of like a guided tour. So you can see you have the card, and you can actually draw on it. So if I go and select pencil, I can start drawing here. I can switch to interactive and keep moving. You can move the text or the cards. Up here is the drawing that I made. So you can click. So for example, you have this card, you click here, it's gonna get you to this one.
Okay.
Also, you have buttons, fields, sliders, grids, canvas, so you can actually put images as well. It has sounds. Probably not gonna hear the sound here, but it has sounds. It also has its little scripting language called Lil, L-I-L. So you can do kind of like all the interaction with that. It has a listener, so you can put things like 2 plus 3, and it's going to give you a result, or you can do like alert, just to kind of like test things that you want to build this. Here's an example of Lil. So you can do different things. So when I saw this, I was like, wow, it just blew me away. It took me back to my old Macintosh days. And I was like, I need to build something using this. This is just way too amazing.
This is pretty cool.
I thought...
Is this, like, just to kind of clarify with Decker, Decker's like a framework for building HyperCards?
It's kind of like they grab what HyperCard was.
Oh, okay.
And they kind of build something similar, but kind of like more oriented to the modern world.
So it's an implementation of HyperCards.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I was thinking, what could I do? So I thought about, this looks like nice for kind of like agenda, right?
Yeah.
Remember back in the days when you have like this little box and you need to search for the telephone or something. So that's what I did. And let me show you. I'm gonna first open Decker. You see, it looks the same like in the website. So actually, you can have like the desktop application, or you can use it on the web.
Gotcha.
So I'm gonna open it up.
So you want to build, I think it's called a Rolodex is what you want to build using Decker. So it's like all the different phone numbers and informations you can look up. Gotcha. Okay. That's pretty cool.
So here we have it. This is kind of like a presentation. An address book created using Decker and Nylas. So if I press enter, you're going to see I have my image here. I have my name, my surname, my birthday, and my email. So I have buttons as well. So I can go next. And I have Hulk Hogan, because why not?
He's in your contacts.
Exactly. The same as Macho Man. So you can see this is coming from my actual contacts that I'm using Nylas to grab them, and then using Decker to generate this.
And is this built using Little, L-I-L?
No, this is actually, I built it using Ruby.
Okay.
And I use Lil just to be able to handle the images.
Gotcha. Okay.
So we're going to see in a second. Let's go to the source code. So pretty much what I'm doing here is I'm grabbing Nylas, of course, .env, so I can have my environment. And I'm using Minimagic, which I'm going to explain why I'm using it, that and what it is. So here I need to initialize my Nylas client. And here I'm kind of like creating the base source of the deck. So I'm saying that the deck is going to be version 1. It's going to start on card 0. It's going to be this size. And then here I'm importing a font because I wanted a different font. It has to be kind of like bigger. Here I'm saying an address book created using Decker and Nylas. So this one is going to be pretty much the presentation. So what we see here is this: contacts, an address book, and the button enter. So what I'm doing here is when I click on enter, I want to go to the next slide.
So is this similar if I were to compare it to HTML? Like you have that first page and you have all the components on that page? Is that what the deck source points to?
Yes, yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So here it's like you have cards and you can say like go to the next card, or skip to that particular card, so by the number.
Okay.
Here I'm fetching my contacts. So I'm going to my address book and I'm fetching the contacts. Here I'm grabbing the first name, and also I'm grabbing a name just to be able to call each of the cards. So here I'm going through all the contacts. I'm grabbing the picture. I name it profile.png just to be kind of like generic. I open it up, and I'm using ImageMagick, which is a library which allows us to manipulate images. So just to resize the image to be 100 by 100, so all the images have the same size. And also, I'm changing it into a GIF because Lil is going to recognize GIF and not PNG. So when I download the image, it's going to be PNG, just need to change it. And then here, I'm going to call LilT, which is a command line interface for the Lil programming language. And I'm going to call this Lil script code and call that Lil. And what is this going to do? This one is going to read our profile.gif. It's going to turn it into grayscale, and it's going to transform it into jitter, which is kind of like what you see all these little dots here.
Like a pixelated image.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then I'm using encoded, so it became a really long string. So that really long string is going to be read by Docker, and it's going to be interpreted as an image. So once I have that, I make sure that nothing is empty. And here I'm going to start populating each of the cards. So if I go here, I have my picture. So here I'm going to say that I have the profile image. I'm going to have the given name, the nickname, the surname, the birthday, the contacts, and whatever. And then here, I'm adding the buttons. So I have previews, and I have next.
Next.
So I can move through the cards.
One interesting thing to call out in the code is when you have deck source and you're adding a card, you're positioning everything using pixels. Is that correct? The X and Y?
Mm-hmm.
So you have the size, and as well you have a position. So I'm curious, how did you come up with the positions? Was it just trial and error, or?
Yeah, that's kind of like a like a nice trick, something that I discovered. So let's say I create a new deck, right?
Yep.
So I go to tools and I go to widgets, and let's say I want to put a button here.
Oh, so you have a WYSIWYG or a tool, a way to kind of add in everything.
So I'm just gonna say a button. So I have a button, right? So
Gotcha.
if I save that
Okay, it'll give
and
you
let's
the
say
position.
like test that deck, I can actually open this up.
Okay.
So if I go here to test that deck, boom. So I have the source code. So I know that that button was on 6020.
Okay.
So pretty much what I did, and that's what kind of like, not sure if it's smart or not. What I did is I kind of lay off everything.
Yep. You created the layout first.
Then I went to the source code and I was like, okay, this is supposed to go here, this is supposed to go here,
Gotcha.
and then I just put it here so everything falls into place.
Okay.
Then once everything is done, so I have a long string with all the information, I simply gonna save it as a .deck so it can be opened by Decker. So I run this, it's gonna generate a file with a deck extension that I can open with Decker. And the nice thing about Decker is I can resave this. So I
Okay.
can say address book and say HTML instead of deck. So if I save it and I go to look for it, see what happens. I have exactly the same, but on the web.
Oh, wow.
So I can share it or I can put it on my website or whatever I want. And
That
it's
is pretty
the
cool.
same.
To be able to
That's pretty nice.
render this in so this is all HTML that's being rendered, or Decker is
Yes,
rendered
I think
on
so.
HTML.
Yeah, I guess I haven't even seen the source code of this one, but I'm pretty sure it's something like that. It should just HTML and JavaScript, but I think it's pretty cool. I mean, it's exactly the same,
Yep.
and there's nothing else that you need to do. You just save it as either as a deck or either as HTML. Is exactly the same.
Because I almost think Decker is a web view. It's just the way we've built it out. It actually outputs. It's potentially being output as a web view as well, or in a web view, so you can save it as HTML and display it in a browser.
Yes, I think so.
Oh,
I
that's
haven't
pretty cool.
explored that much. I mean, I built what I wanted to build, and then I didn't explore that much. But it's amazing. It's an amazing tool. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have used HyperCard in the past and get like, "Oh, this is amazing," and it is. It's pretty powerful.
I think it's pretty cool if you can create something using an older framework and put it on something modern like a browser. It'll definitely bring some nostalgia or some history to more modern, up-to-date websites. I've seen some people do that recently. That was pretty cool, Blog. Was there anything else you wanted to share?
Yeah, let me see. Actually, someone actually created, and I don't know if there's an image here, but someone actually created a Flappy Bird using Decker,
Oh, wow.
which is like completely mind blowing. So let me see if I can find it so I can share it. Because that was like, I mean, there's a lot of people doing a lot of crazy things, but doing like Flappy Bird, that's mind blowing. Let me see. Okay, here's the source code, and just let me share my screen so we can see kind of like the process and let's see if this works. So here I have the source code, flappybird.tech, and let's copy this. It's not too long, which surprises me.
So I'm curious if it's Flappy Bird, are they generating the next card based on the action? Is that the idea?
I think so.
That's what it seemed like looking at the code very quickly. But yeah, let's see if it works.
Let me save this. I'm just gonna put it on the same place where I have my address book. So, okay. If I go to Decker, I should be able to open this. That's cool so far. Oh, okay. I'm not very good at this game, but okay. Look at that. I mean, whoa.
Oh, wow. So it's actually rendering the card based on your action.
Yeah, I think so. And I completely suck at this game. It's pretty bad.
Well, the demo is really awesome. So that is pretty cool to show what you can do using Decker.
Yeah, it's amazing. I never expected. And you see, I mean, like the source code is 150 lines. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think you can do that in any other language like that fast.
That's awesome, Blag.
Yeah, that's totally crazy. I mean, it's worth checking out. Decker is an amazing piece of software. And actually, let me share. So here's this, the webpage, beyondloom.com, .decker, and you can go to the tour. Go check it out. It's pretty awesome. And what is pretty awesome as well is our Nylas blogs, obviously, because this live stream is going to become, of course, a blog post, and we have all the blog posts that we have written so far. Also, don't forget to go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Nylas, where all our live streams live, and you can watch them live or you can watch them after hours. It's up to you.
Yeah, and also when you're on YouTube, feel free to subscribe, comment, and check out some of our show notes. We have a lot of links for you to check out about building with Nylas. You can go and check out our API docs and as well code samples that we have available. And just one more ad is follow us on Twitter. We love to see what you're building with Nylas and any ideas or feedback you have. And as well, you can follow us in building with Nylas and all the different features and product tools we have coming out.
And of course, if you're building something cool and you would like to be showcased here in our show, just let us know and you can be our first guest, which would be amazing.
That'd be great. Thanks, Blag, for doing this. This was a lot of fun. I think this is one more language. I don't know if you're going to add little to your programming languages. I saw you write a bit of code, so.
Yeah, I guess at some point for sure. I mean, there's so many languages. It's crazy for me. I just found a repository in GitHub have like 100 languages, and I'm like, no.
100 more. Well, thanks for doing that, Blag. This was awesome.
All right, Ram. Thanks, man. Take care and see you later.
All right. See you.
Thanks.